All right, guys, we are at Lowe's getting our concrete. So you know what that means. Today we are building our pad to put our shed up so we can start our pump house for our spring and put our electrical in it. And I can't wait to get back to the property so we can get mixing and we can get this pad up, let it dry, and then we can start getting the shed up and getting everything in there and moving on to another project. We picked up so much concrete, guys. This is 31 bags of concrete, and let me tell you, I didn't need to go to the gym this morning because this is going to be a workout. We're getting ready to put our shed up, which is going to house our like little pump station for our spring and getting water to the property, and a little bit of storage, and just a whole lot of progress going on today because this is going at the first tiny home spot, and we've been working over there almost this entire week, grading out everything and getting the streams done. We got all of the drains done in that area. We did a French drain. Now I know a lot of people have videos on YouTube about dry concrete, but that is not what we're doing here today. We are actually going to put a shed on this, and it's going to house a lot of our materials. Okay, y'all, so Eric went ahead and surprised me and had the outer box built already. I'm not sure when he did this, but I'm actually glad that it's done. So, like I said, I don't know a lot about pouring concrete, so I don't really know what our next step is, but I'm assuming that he has this bucket here to mix in, and right now he's trying to just make sure it's all leveled out and all of the corners are closed in. There's been a lot of controversy lately on YouTube about dry pouring, and I'm here to tell you that we did not dry pour this concrete pad, and I will tell you why. This is going to house our utilities for the property and our water house. We're going to have a couple 100 gallons of water probably in this building, and although it is quick and easy and pretty fashionable nowadays to do a dry pour, we did this the traditional way by getting a bucket with some water with our drill, mixed it up, poured, and self-leveled it. And that was basically what needed to be done for this particular slab. It's not going to house any of our gas. It just needs to be here, and we need something to put our shed on. So whatever Eric had is what he did to master up this box, and we're gonna pour our concrete in here. And
it's going to be heavy, and that's the reason I didn't want to dry pour. It's because dry pour doesn't seem to hold up too well to the weight, and we're going to have 330 gallons worth of water there, 8 times a gallon is what, 2,400 pounds of water sitting right there. So that's got some weight.
yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect, but we do want to make sure that it's going to sustain our water tanks and whatever else we put inside this utility house. So we're gonna get started. Right now, Eric is getting water from the pipe that basically comes from our spring. And so that's how we get water to the property right now. But we're in the process of building an entire shed that's going to house our filtration system and basically our water system. And that's going to get water to the entire property. So we're just gonna have to mix like 31 bags of concrete, get it set, and then we'll start moving on to the next process, which is gonna be building the shed and putting the utilities at the tiny home spots.
Should be good enough. Not the easiest one.
Maybe we can mix more at a time now that we have the bigger bucket. So we're getting set up to pour our pad for our shed that's going to house all of our water and just some of our utilities and electrical stuff down here. And guys, we are hand mixing the concrete for this because this is not really a big area. I mean, it's going to take some manpower and some time to do this. And like we said, we've seen a lot of people doing dry pour on YouTube, and as easy as it looks, we need this thing to hold up. We're going to have like gallons of waters housed in here, and just it's going to take a lot of weight on this pad. So we want to make sure that we do it the right and traditional way. Okay, so we've gotten quite a bit of the ways there. Doing this by hand is, of course, taking its own time and strength. And what you guys don't see is your girl has been going to the gym. So I have been actually lifting this 80-pound bag of concrete, trying to save Eric some time and energy. But pretty much this is our process. We have a barrel that we've cut in half, and we're using that as our mixing container. And the hose that Eric, or piping that Eric is holding, is literally just a raw pipe coming from our spring. And that is what we're actually trying to build this platform for, to put our shed up so we can encase our water tanks and pumps and some of the utilities in there. So we got to get this up and running so we can get proper water to the property and to all the sites. This is coming out pretty good. We're pretty much getting a good consistency to where we can pour this entire thing without it drying out so much. So we don't want to mix it too dry because we don't want it to dry out before we get it all laid and we get an opportunity to smooth it out and get the top level. We're trying to get this thing done today. It's definitely going to take some time. I wish we had another way, but least expensive and most effective is what we're going for here. And I think that's what we're getting. So right where Eric is pretty much working the concrete around those pipes, those are basically underground coming out through the other end for our power and our water to go in. So we're basically kind of just making moldings or casings to be able to have somewhere for our wires to go in through once we dig the trenches and bring them underground. So this is what we're going to be doing for the rest of the day, guys. Mixing and pouring and leveling, and hopefully we end up with a nice pad and we can start getting the shed on here and start running the utilities, because that's going to be an awesome point at the property. Then we'll get to run them up to the top spot where the dome is, and then we're really just in the money. We're just going straight to it and straight to Airbnb with these properties so we can start getting some income. So we are done mixing the first batch that we were able to haul up here. And this is also, guys, why you don't want to mix it so dry, because we're gonna have to now leave and go back to the bottom of the mountain and load up the Kubota one more time, just so we can get that second batch up here to start working on the second half. So when you're hand mixing and pouring yourself, you want to make sure you have a good consistency, a little bit more on the wet side, because it's going to have to sit for a bit while you go get more materials. And that's pretty much all you have to do for now. Eric just has a concrete mix tool at the end of his drill, nothing fancy. We have a barrel that we cut in half, a plastic barrel. And like I said, he is hand mixing it. You guys have seen him hand mix it, dump it out, kind of try to push it where it needs to go and level it out. And we're going to go and make another run to get some more concrete from the bottom. And once we get some more bags and we haul them back up here, we're going to have to start mixing and pouring again. So that is reason number one why you want to make sure that you don't mix too dry, so it doesn't dry up before you have a chance to get the rest poured and be able to level the whole thing out. We're about half of the way through now, or a little bit more than half. And we actually took a little time and tried to level out the top a little bit, just so we can see what we were doing and making sure that it was, you know, just laying right. And it is actually working out pretty good. I really like the fact that we're able to move a bit faster now that we've got the hang of it. And we just got to keep mixing, keep pouring, keep pushing, keep leveling. And this thing is going to be done in no time. Okay, so we are pretty much nearing the end here. We do have a couple bags down at the bottom that we are going to have to haul up here to finish it off. But we're pretty much almost 31 bags in for this size pad. And as you guys can tell, it really worked out us doing it. Our mixtures, some of them were drier, some of them were wetter, because we wanted to have a good consistency, because we know that we would mix it all in down here at the bottom. And that allowed this section that we poured, I don't know, almost an hour ago, or pretty much about that, to still be pretty soft. And when we are completely done and we are getting ready to level this entire thing out, we would still be able to work this side. We are almost there. Eric is just cleaning up the edges and around that piping. it's kind of difficult getting around there when you're doing it with the board. So some of it is going to take smoothing out with the trial that he has, but I think it looks pretty awesome. We have 4 more bags, and I don't think we're going to need all 4 of them, but we're definitely going to take about 2 or 3, and then this job will be complete. We'll let it dry and we'll come back and build our shed. We're now back at the property, and today we're going to be messing with trying to take off the form from around the concrete pad that we poured. This is where our shed is going to go, and that shed is going to house some of our utilities and our water and pumps and everything that we are going to build for the spring, so we can run just water supply to the entire property. That's going to actually have 3 different lots. So we're going to try and make sure this is sturdy enough, because there's going to be like tons of gallons of water having to be stored on this thing. So we poured it the other day. We gave it a few days to cure while we were doing some other things around the property. And so let's see how it turns out. Oh, that looks good. Yeah, that looks really good.
I'm totally ready.
Okay, so we have all of the form off of it, and it turned out really nice, guys. We have a crisp edge all along. It's pretty sturdy. We've both been on here, and it cured really nice. I'm really surprised and proud of us. We hand mixed this thing and kind of self-leveled it, and me having no experience, Eric having some experience with this, but I didn't know what I was doing. I felt like I was messing him up the whole time trying to get that board to come across the entire thing. But I'm pretty proud of how it turned out, and the fact that, you know, we were able to do this relatively in one day with not that much materials. We didn't have any machines. We kind of hand mixed this thing and poured it, and we were back and forth with the side-by-side hauling up 80-pound bags of concrete to get it up here. And we thought about dry pouring this. I will tell you guys, there was such a rave on YouTube about dry pour that we thought about dry pouring this, and we decided that because this is going to house like I said, just hundreds of gallons of water probably at a time, that was not the best idea for us. So we poured this thing by hand, self-leveled it. We mixed it by hand, just in a little sawed-off bucket with Eric's drill and an extension to mix concrete. And this is how it turned out. The entire thing was done in about a day, with the exception of letting it kind of cure out. And I think it's a lot sturdier than how it would have turned out had we dry poured it. So I'm really happy that we didn't. We're going to need this thing to last the test of time, because all of our utilities is going to be in this shed on top of this concrete pad. So I'm glad we went the traditional route when it came to pouring this pad. And we're going to get to building the shed here soon, guys. So stay tuned, like and subscribe to the channel. The entire build is coming along so quickly. I can't believe very soon we're going to have a utility house. We're going to be digging our trenches to run the sewer and water to all 3 spots. We're going to be building the tiny home very soon and putting up the dome very soon, guys. And we're actually running an RV spot at the bottom, so that's going to be really exciting. Hopefully we can get some extra income from that lot. But until then, guys, we love you. We're just out here in the middle of the mountains, just doing what we can. And we'll see you guys in the next video. So there is our piping that we're going to use to run our either electrical or sewer. Either our electrical or water. We might as well use that for the water. It already has water in it. We had some rain here, but of course we're gonna have to dig these out from the other end. Eric just cleaned them up a bit, and so the pad is looking like it's getting ready to be used, and I'm excited for that. But this is how the entire thing turned out. I think it's nice. I mean, I could be prejudiced because we did it, but it's going to get the job done. It's here. It's the size we need. It's the strength that we need. It's off to the corner of the property, and we were able to grade out an area to get it to fit and have it leveled. So that's what's important. There is nothing fancy going on. Like I said, it was just regularly done. You guys have seen in the video that it was a lot of sweat and a lot of energy exhaustion going into this thing, but hey, it's done, and now we can move on to the building of the shed or another part of the property. So we will see you guys, and we're going to continue building. Cannot wait to get this thing up and running on Airbnb so we can go live and get some income, and you guys can come out here and see all the great work we've been doing, all the video you've been watching, and see what we did it for. And yeah, catch you guys in the next video.